Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to model a menu-driven conversation system or a computer terminal. Basically something that kind of presents you with a menu of choices and it keeps asking you to select something until you quit. Now let me speed run this to the point where we can get to that and then we'll take a look at it. So here we are, we're over in the electronics lab, and what I've done is I've put a computer terminal there. So here we are in the electronics lab and there's a computer terminal here, so let's look at the terminal. Examine terminal. It says the terminal is displaying a text-based menu. Okay, so how about use terminal? Enter option 1, captain's log, 2, communication status 3, laundry status 4, exit. So it's 3, laundry system's functioning normally. Press any key. Captain's log start date 10/6/86. Giant base slugs are becoming a problem. Space madness too, but also the slugs. Press any key, right? So what we've got is a while loop. We've got a loop that's going to keep running until we hit 4, and then the loop will quit. If we type in garbage, it'll say beep, invalid option, right? So let's quit out of there. And what is it? 4. There we go. Okay, so let's pop over to Lantern and see how we got that working. What I've done here is created a function called use terminal, and you can see here I have created a variable called main done, and I'm calling it main done because this is kind of the main menu. Variables in Lantern are global, so if you wanted to have menus and submenus, you couldn't just say, you might not want to just say, have one variable called done. You might want to break that up into, have each loop have its own variable, just so you didn't have any problems with one variable corrupting another variable. Just keep in mind that variables are global, and if you understand global variables, then you won't have any issues. Now let's just go look at that variable. If you click on the variables tab, I added one called main done. There's my variable, which is tracking whether the loop should continue, whether the user has elected to bail out of that loop. Also, there's a built-in variable called answer. This stores the result anytime you ask the user for input. What happens is a line of text is read in, and that line of text is looked up in a table. If it's not found in the table, the answer is FF, right? Basically like all ones, which means 65,535. That's the indicator for wasn't found in the table. So anytime you ask the user a question, the result of the string lookup will be stored in answer. So let's go. So ask and answer kind of go together. So let's go back to this function and take a look here. So we've got our variable, and we're going to set main done to be 0, and now, so we're saying it's false, right? We're not done. And now we're going to use a while loop. So yes, we can support while loops. While main done is equal to 0, do the stuff between the curly braces that follow. Do the body of the loop. So as long as this is true, as long as this condition is true, do all of that stuff. So let's take a look at all of that stuff. Now at some point when the user tries to quit or wants to quit, we'll set main done to 1, and then this condition will be false and the loop will not run anymore. So we enter an option, and then we print out our menu, and then we ask the user for a line of input, and that answer, that string, will be looked up in a string table, and to get a number. Like this was string number 1, this is string number 300. And then we're going to compare it to some possible choices. So if the answer was equal to 1, then we're going to do this. And then notice we've got this function any key. That's how we wait for the user to type something in. If the answer was 2, then we're going to do this thing and print out some stuff. And if the answer was 3, we're going to do this. And if the answer was 4, we're going to do this. Otherwise, print beep, invalid option. And notice when we hit 4, right, this is the option to quit. So we're going to set main done to 1, right? It's not, it's basically done is now true. We're done. We don't want to keep looping. So now you may be wondering, like, how does this ask thing work? Like, how did we get this in the string table and that in the string table and that in the string table? Well, just by putting them in here, they end up in the string table. So if so if the user types in the string for 1, types in a 1, then that text will be found in the table, and this text will be found in the table, and those string indexes will be compared. So I guess what I'm going for here is this is not a byte by byte string comparison. What you are doing is comparing indexes in a lookup table. So just be aware of that. That's how it works under the hood. And if ask if the user typed in garbage, the result stored in answer will be 65535, right, which is the biggest number you can store in 2 bytes. So that's it. And then I just have a sentence here that says if the verb is use and the noun is computer terminal, call the use terminal function right there. So if the player types use terminal, then it's going to call that use terminal function, and it's going to start doing that loop. So that's all it takes to get a computer terminal, or you could have a menu-driven conversation system or an information kiosk or something. You just have to use a while loop, which is kind of like a repeating if statement. Basically, just think of that as a repeating if statement. That's all it is. It's a repeating if statement. And then we have to just use ask and answer in conjunction. So ask gets a line of input from the user, and then the result of the string lookup is stored in answer. So ask and answer are kind of used in conjunction. And that's it. So that is all it takes to get to model a computer terminal or a menu-driven conversation system.